and yet they still got together and managed to create this great nation with the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. And when you
listen, I've read all your books. They're all excellent. I am going to read this and over again. This is the kind of thing you put on the coffee table. Everybody should get the book at Amazon.com, you name it. Jesse Ventura, SH, you know what T, politicians say. Let me say bye to you during the break. David Knight's coming up. Jesse Ventura, thanks for joining us. I'm Alex Jones with Infowars.com. Be back this Sunday. Well, David Knight will be. Then it's Cleveland. I was talking to Jesse Ventura during the break, and he said, man, be careful in Cleveland. He said, wow, all the word is it is going to be a 15-ring circus. And, you know, it's something I got to do because most people won't even get politically involved. They won't even go and speak out. They won't even, you know, in my life, I'm there for my children. I'm the person that takes care of them. It's me. And I'm the guy that runs this operation, and all this means a lot to me. But at the same time, with great power comes great responsibility, and you have to metaphysically put your skin on a routine basis in the arena and not just be a pundit. And that brings me back to that Teddy Roosevelt quote about the man in the arena. Forget about the person that sits up in the bleachers bitching and complaining and, you know, saying how the great men could have done something better or where they stumbled. Hell, you better believe I stumble all the time, but I'm moving forward. And David Knight's going to be going also up to the Democrat situation in Philadelphia. He's already been up there with Jakari before. That when the Pope was there, that place is a circus. And it's just something you have to do because we don't have a future if we don't engage the globals. You're saying it's a big ISIS Al-Qaeda target. I'm not scared of an individual ISIS Al-Qaeda attack. I'm scared of us capitulating to it and allowing the type of censorship. I want to go to David Knight here. David, what is it like for you? Because it's so surreal for me to see our anti-Hillary airplane censored twice, unprecedented exclusion zones, to see them blocking us on Facebook, even saying radical Islam. You just can't even type it in. We show it. No one cares. Mainstream media running around saying, I got crazy guy in a truck, CNN, New York Times, hundreds of publications. They're just, and instead the French prime minister and people, not just the press, are saying, good, we need to accept this and let jihadis in. That's an actual quote today. The Stockholm Syndrome weirdness is getting so crazy. You see the concerted effort. What type of elite that already run everything want to break up our families, bankrupt us, and then bring in whacked out radical Islamicists? It just doesn't compute until you realize it's pure evil we're dealing with.
Yeah, Alex, I was talking to Darren McBreen about that excellent report that he and Rob Jacobson did yesterday about what Facebook was doing to not only censor, but to alter the idea, you know, to say, no, you can't say Muslim terrorists. You must say Muslims are not terrorists. They only give you a multiple choice. They don't allow you to freely enter in tags. And that's what people were not understanding. A lot of people say, well, I can type in Muslim terrorists. It's like, no, no, no. These are the tags that you don't see that allow people to find what you're putting up there. But of course, when I was talking to Darren, he said, remember that they had the open mic and they caught Zuckerberg talking to Merkel. And she said, we need to cut down on people, you know, saying certain things because I've got that covered. And then they shut off the mic on that. They're talking about what kind of people do this. I've got some stories here I want to tell people about. You know, just before all this stuff happened, a story broke out about Francois Hollander, the French president, the fact that he's spending $11,000 a month on his hair. On his hair. That's more than 3 times what the average French person makes each month, okay? He's spending that much just to have his hair done, you know, because he's worth it. And it really
Another classic socialist with red carpets, everybody else's money, never worked a day in his life, bringing in the Islamics, and he's just a giant sack of you-know-what.
Yeah, it's irony that he did this on Bastille Day, right? We had Marie Antoinette say, let them eat cake. I guess he's saying, let them eat pomade. This is the arrogance that's gone full circle. And so we're going to talk about that when we come back.
All right, I'm going to come back, and I got a few more words. I'm going to hand the baton to David Knight. And there's so much more. But I tell you, a great job to the crew up here late last night with 2 hours of live coverage and more. And the Nightly News is coming up tonight again, 7 o'clock Central. Please spread the word about this broadcast. We're trying to censor it because it's coffin nails of the enemy. And the big dog's going to run over hundreds of you with a truck. And the media and the government aren't going to say it's part of an Islamic attack. Wow. They're going to arrest you if you do in France or Germany. They're going to take down your Facebook channel if you say it here. Wow. Wow. What does that say just about everything outside of what's happening with Islam? Again, I'm going to Cleveland. It's historic. It's important. There have been attempts. They've tried to steal the delegates from Trump. They tried to sell it like it was a normal idea. That failed. It worked with Hillary because of how sheep-like their constituents are. This Governor Pence is not the worst choice. He's not the best choice. Way better than Gingrich, but that isn't saying much. He's kind of an establishment Republican, but good with the evangelicals. Supported NAFTA and GATT, you name it. I'm told you're going to hear him recanting that, explaining his real positions the next day or two. $300 million, a little bird told me. First it was $100 million, then $200 million, then $300 million. $300 million was offered a few days ago by Adelson, who admittedly offered $100 million to Trump if he would take Gingrich. And whereas I'm not against Israel, we shouldn't have Israel running the president, openly here, and it's just financing it and doing it. I mean, or the communist Chinese or anybody else. So that's what happened with that little situation there. All I know is we're committed to this fight. We've proven we're committed. I think everybody should just step back and realize how historic the InfoWar is. Not from some perspective of a power trip. I'm a very humble person. But all of you have really carried the ball over the goal line. You have spread the word. You have done the research. You've taken the action. Our crew, the supporters, this is historic. And so we've got to recognize just how important the InfoWar is. We've got to recognize how far we've come and how far we're going to go. I'm not here just as a cheerleader, just to be a cheerleader for cheerleader's sake. I'm here to tell you resistance is victory, knowing we carry the light of liberty in our hearts, knowing that God's on our side, knowing that for all of this country's problems, we were the greatest expression of the Enlightenment and the Renaissance and human empowerment and true liberalism, and that we are countering a technocratic system that the globalists believe is going to save them, being able to edit our posts and block us and internet IDs and what Facebook and everybody are doing. And controlling language and having the sell-out corporate media never say a Muslim's involved in a terror attack. But that's only discrediting them and having everyone leave them. So don't think they're the only power in the universe. I've noticed that evil people, sociopaths, psychopaths, control freaks, they always think they're invincible. They always are just super confident. They're also very fearful, though, of the general public. But when it comes to their plans, they're megalomaniacs. And so the wicked flee when none pursue, but also they think they're invincible at some point. I get more humble as we become more effective, as we change the narrative, as we turn the tide. And make no mistake, Infowars.com, DrudgeReport.com, there's not many other places that are able to really change the narrative, get people thinking. And we're doing it more and more. Fox, I talked to several Fox News insiders last month. I just wanted to get this out before I left town. And it's not just gossip about Fox. It's part of what's happening in this season of evil. And then I talked to some other folks about it this morning, and they confirmed when I was saying that, there's this sexual harassment investigation of Roger Ailes that started Modern Talk Radio and Rush Limbaugh and Fox News 20 years ago, Limbaugh 30 years ago, or 28 years ago, whatever the numbers are. And that Murdoch's kind of out of it now, and that his kids are basically globalist, quote, liberals. I mean, look at their normal TV shows. Of course they are. And that they're not just going to control conservatives now with fake conservative Fox News. They're getting ready in the very near future, they've said this, to go basically pro-Hillary, pro-New World Order. And Hannity's going to be gone, all of them. Because Hannity's not going to play ball so much. Obviously, people like O'Reilly will. But it just shows that even the old mainline Republican guard, who aren't perfect but weren't out to destroy the country and aren't communist, they're gone. Ailes is being pushed out. Big changes are happening. The censorship is here, like Matt Drudge said, like a Supreme Court justice told him. Supreme Court justices are dying. I mean, the enemy is moving, is all I can tell you. And it's a scary thought to look at the metrics and the numbers, and I don't want to be arrogant about it, because there's a prestige factor and all the big glitz and the glamour and all the shows together and people repeating it. But to know that InfoWars and our platforms are overall reaching 30, 40%, maybe more of what Fox News reaches, and we're growing and they're going to decline. You see, the Murdochs know that when they strangle Fox News in the crib, it's going to hurt their viewers. They don't care. They've got a larger mission. They're partially owned by the Saudis. They're, again, merging with the enemy. But to know that then InfoWars and others are going to get that audience, well, the globalists aren't going to let that happen. They're going to try to internet kill switch, false flag, censorship, talk radio. They're coming after Drudge. They're coming after WorldNet Daily. They're coming after the Daily Caller and Breitbart. Not that any of us are perfect or have all the answers. It's just that we're anti-globalist. We're Americana. We believe in the Second Amendment. We believe in pro-life. We believe in sovereignty. You know, we believe the president isn't a god. At least some of those websites like Breitbart believe that when Obama's in. I mean, I'll believe that if Trump's in or Hillary. It's just really big historic stuff's happening. I don't have words to describe how historic things are right now. And we just have to be part of it. And we have to be hard-nosed about it and just do what's right and not compromise. And I'm telling you, we'll come through this storm. If we cower, if we compromise, if we give in fear, it's game over. Trump is a symbol of populism. Just like Nigel Farage was. He had some people in his leadership that were, you know, like a Pence character. Do we judge Farage as he had some establishment guys in his campaign? No. I think we give Trump some breathing room on this. And as long as he delivers against political correctness, gun grabbing, open borders, NAFTA and GATT and things like that, I was talking to folks the other day. I said, listen, this Pence thing isn't that bad. I expected more compromise, you know, even like Reagan did. But if he ever does something like back TPP or anything else, then I will go for the impeachment of Donald Trump. And the person said, I will too, absolutely. So I think it comes down to that. But everything doesn't ride on Trump. But right now, he's the carrier wave or the juggernaut ramming down the enemy fortress that we're going to pour in behind. So if Trump's using us, we're using him, and I think he knows that. And I'm telling you, he's smart. He wouldn't be doing something this big with the rhetoric he's putting out if he wasn't trying to go all the way and wasn't the real deal. Because let me tell you, you don't say the stuff he said and put it back in the bottle. He's done irrevocable harm to their system, just as the Briggs it has, just as Nigel Farage has. I mean, you know that airplane, somebody took control of it and flipped it and tried to kill Farage. The pilot's a vegetable. I mean, folks, let me tell you, there's a good chance you're going to see Donald Trump gunned down. And that's going to be the false flag to bring this whole country into martial law. There's so many angles right now. So I'm going to sit back and watch. But all I know is this. We need your prayers. We need your support. We need you to spread the word and not take this broadcast for granted. I know you're not. We had millions of new people tuning in last night to the Nightly News. Millions. Top CNN shows have 500,000. We had millions. Millions. And again, my ego, millions. It shows that these people are nothing. They're paper tigers. They're facades. So I need you to go get Hillary for Prison shirts. I need you to go buy X2. I need you to go buy Brain Force. I need you to go get Super Male Vitality. It's incredible stuff. I need you to get the Natural Defense. I need you to get DNA Force, 25% off. And that special's running until next week or until it sells out. It's pretty close to doing it because it's already so low at its regular price. 25% off this True Nutraceutical with nerve regrowth and so much more. Detoxifying your cells, the ultimate detox, really. DNA Force and so many other products at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139, 888-253-3139. And get a PrisonPlanet.tv membership. Whatever you do, it's important. But this is an information war. We're not robbing banks to fund this revolution. We're not running sex slaves like ISIS for their revolution because we're not revolutionaries. The revolution was the Renaissance. We already had the success. We're trying to simply restore free will and let people know what real freedom is and to take the blinders off. But it takes energy. And what is money? Money is a symbol of energy of work you've done that you send to us, and then we, under universal law, send you back products that we know you need that I believe for the money you pay delivers way more life, way more energy, way more calories, way more support than what you've even given us. Then we take that symbol of energy and put it in to run a media operation to focus thought against the enemy in the information war. And so it's a big cyclotronic engine that we're building, and our mass is expanding, and I'm attempting to go to the next level to really make a run at the enemy. And let me tell you this, I am for real, and I will go all the way to the end, whatever the cost may be.